I wanted to continue in these things on a Sunday night, reflecting on the Bible. I just thought I'd look at my my Bible app, the YouVersion Bible app, and just see what I've highlighted. So the first highlight I found was Galatians chapter 2, verse 20, and it says this: "My old self has been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ lives in me. So I live in this earthly body by trusting in the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me." So this is a great concept to try and work our heads around. Sometimes we get a bit mixed up between, are we a body that's just a thing, and then our real self is the spirit that lives inside. And that's just, to me, that doesn't make any sense. I am one human thing. I'm a body, a mind, a spirit. It's all intertwined. They're not separated things. But within that unity, there's a natural pull towards selfishness and me and my stuff. And when we choose to be connected to God, to follow him, to let him lead our lives, then the war starts within us between, we become naturally people who follow God, who put others first, who serve, who love, who do all that is best. And on the other side, we have this, there's a war in between us. So these two things within us, and it's about who we feed, what we feed, and how we build these things within us. And all the way through the letters in the Bible, there's all these bits where it talks about the fact that we've been killed, we've died, and here we were crucified, we were absolutely smashed and nailed and killed. Who we used to be, our negative, bad, messed up self is destroyed, and we become who Jesus, that perfect, wonderful man, would be if he was in us. And we're not perfectly transformed in a moment and we're all perfect or anything, but we keep journeying that way. And as we feed and connect, we feed that bit of us, and that life in us, and that light fills us and chases out the darkness as we connect to Jesus day by day, then we become more like that. We die to one thing and we grow into the other. And that's the journey of a lifetime, because every time you kind of more light floods in, you see areas where it could be brighter. You see areas where it could change. So what I love about this is this sense of going, hey, I'm still me. There's still a spark of who I was supposed to be, and I was made in God's image. But that's messed up and marred, and the world we live in, the people we're around, the stuff inside, there's all of that stuff. It's nasty. But we die. When we choose Jesus, we die to who we are and we say yes to who he is. And that becomes a journey of transformation. And we give him our dross and our mess and our darkness. And he gives us his light and his joy and his peace and his wonder. And we are transformed. And that's the journey of life. And some of us start way back in a really messed up place, and some of us start in a good place and move forwards. But we're all attaining to the wonder of who he is. And we'll have that in full at the end of our lives, when we meet with him and live with him. That's the Christian hope. That's the way we live. So none of us are perfect. We're all people on a journey, but we're being transformed. What's your experience of life? How does that speak to you? What do you think? Come back at me. Tell me what you think.